Hello, AuthorTube! It's me, Ray, and my cat, Emma! Yeah, you. Oh, so cool. And Writer's Market kinda sucks again this year. I touch on Writer's Market in my magazine submission system video that I made a few weeks ago? I don't know. How long have I been making AuthorTube videos? It's very confusing sometimes. In it, I talk about how Writer's Market's a bit useless, because they don't really make it very usable. So this one, I thought I would talk about some more opinions, but also the right way to use Writer's Market. I think the best way to use Writer's Market is as a PDF. If you buy the ebook version of it, that way you have a keyword search, because inside the pages of Writer's Market, it is not very well organized. It's not organized at all, I'd say. If you choose a magazine like the Briar Cliff Review, and then you write down that name and then you go somewhere else, you can't find it once you get rid of that page. It's not a glossary, there isn't a table of contents that has the individual books, not even at the end of individual sections. Everything that it references, there's literary agents, magazines, book publishers, contests and rewards, and conferences and workshops. And at the end of those sections, there's not like a big glossary where they are. You may look at it and say, oh look, here's a glossary, but the glossary is itself divided into topics that you're not sure. So like, I just said the Briar something something. So if I look for it, I'm like, oh, was it fantasy? Briar. It's not in there. Is it literary? Is there literary in this thing? Confessions. Family saga. It's not there. It's not in literary. What was it? I do not know because I lost the page. So if you have it as a PDF or as the ebook version of it, you can Control F and search it, which is the best way to use this reference book. They do a confusing thing where they put out multiple versions of a book. These ones I borrowed from the library. Probably the actual best version of the book, the one you didn't have to buy. And the different versions are the same price. They're both $29.99. Yeah. This one just lacks the poems and the children's books and is just short fiction and novels references for you. The other major downsides to the book is sometimes they are inaccurate. So just because it has a name and a price and an address doesn't mean those are any of those actual things. So once you find them in the book, you actually have to research where to do it. They might as well be a list of names for you to Google later. The other downside is it doesn't reference like stuff that you might actually want to know, like other writers' opinions on a literary magazine, if the magazine is actually influential and worth going into. These are things that like I would really like to know, because if a magazine is offering me $6 to publish something, that is less than the cost of things I've spent to make that story. The paper I printed on, the ink, the price to mail it. In most cases, the price to submit on Submittable is at least $2. And aside from the material cost, it also takes hours and hours of your time to write, critique, and revise a short story to get it ready for submission. Then you have to spend the hours to research how you would like it submitted. For the magazine to just pay you $6. And if you don't know the full reach and pull of the magazine, then it might not be all worth it after all. Like in one of these versions of the magazine, once in a while I'll still see it, it tells you how many circulated copies go around of it, and that is very helpful too, because if something doesn't pay me but over 50,000 people read it, then I want to try to submit to that. Is that negative enough for the video? I think that's negative enough for the video. What do you think, Emma? You don't care? Still a cat? Was that good? Oh, is that good? So how to actually use the Writer's Market is to browse through it. There's a couple helpful articles in the beginning of it that you can read, like how to get started. It goes over basics of queries and submissions. It tells you to have a business plan overall, and that's all very helpful information. But you don't need to go to the newest version of it. That information is also in the 2013 version that I bought a few years ago. Before your first sale. How to use the Writer's Market. Query Letter Clinic. Perfect Pitch. Feature Article Writing. When working for free pays, self-publishing checklist, finding freelance opportunities online, funds for writers 101, ghostwriting 101, publishers and their imprints, the writing entrepreneur, contacts 101, making the most out of the money you earn, repurposing writing for platform and profit, record keeping and pricing, submission tracking. Oh, bye Emma. Emma got bored by lists. Diversifying during tough times, launching your freelance business, how much should I charge, building a platform, how to improve your presentation skills, the art of promoting, blogging basics, Twitter cheat sheet for writers, Facebook versus LinkedIn, author platform 2.0. Those are all articles in this book in the 2013 version. The 2020 version has these ones: how to use the writing market before you're for sale, query letter clinic, writing better queries and selling more articles, landing the six-figure deal, 20 literary agents, funds for writers 101, why every writer needs a business plan, how to develop effective author brand, blogging basics, contacts 101, how much should I charge, making the most out of the money you earn. And that's it. So there was a few more articles in this one, but this is the old $50 edition, which you could probably pick up for $10 now. This is the current one for $30. A lot of these ones actually do sound like streamlined stories. Like a few of them might have a couple of these condensed into, I think it's an author platform. Well, what was the wording of it? How to develop an effective author brand. That's the new lingo. That's what we say now. If it's your own personal copy, I highly suggest you put lots of flags in it if you go to buy one this year. Otherwise, you browse through it, you write a list of all the things you're interested in. So later you can put it into a spreadsheet where you can have their names, easily copy and paste them to Google and search them. Put in information as you find it. You can also put an easy link to their websites, their emails, their editors, their submission pages, because sometimes submission pages are really tricky to find. And the thing is, when you do that, you don't even need the book. You can browse your local Books A Million, or Barnes & Noble, or your local bookshop. It probably has Prairie in the name, or River, or View, and book in there. Riverview Prairie Books. And you can go there and see what literary magazines they have, and you can write them down, and then you can Google them for their website. One neat literary magazine that I found that was not in the writers' markets was Pop Shop Magazine, which I really liked because it has like a dual thing where you submit your short story, and then they give your short story to an artist, and then they will draw the illustrations that will go with your short story. So it's a very showy magazine, and I was really impressed with it. Pop Shop Quarterly, I don't know what it pays. Up to 3,000 words, but it's really neat, and they circulate in bigger stores. So the other thing with the writer's market is the way it categorizes magazines is also confusing. So in the consumer magazines, the science fiction magazines was 3. They only named 3 of them. And it took up a part of a page, like 2 pages of science fiction magazines. But the literary magazines is literally 30 pages of just magazines crammed in there. And those literary magazines take multiple styles, including science fiction. So it's really hard to look for something that if you know you want to look for something and want to publish a certain kind of story, it's really hard to find it unless you browse the entire list of consumer magazines. Which is another reason why I prefer the ebook and PDF versions of it, because you can do that search and find everywhere it says sci-fi that they're looking for, and not just depend on the sci-fi section and your limited use browsing it. So what did you think of the 2020 Writers Market? Are you going to buy it for $30? Are you going to buy it for $15 as an ebook? Are you going to rent it? Are you going to steal it? Is there any articles or information from a past year's Writers Market that you think would be really helpful for people to go back and look up? Do you have a different strategy to use it? Let me know down in the comments. Subscribe for more, and actually ring the little bell, because AuthorTube is a real low bar, and we are only looking to make videos for each other and for other authors. I'm not looking to profit off of you on this channel because I assume that you are my colleague. If you're not like an author or whatever, thanks for watching anyway. I should have some more fun videos on here too, or you can go to my main Thought Really channel, or my Patreon, where you could give me money, but you can also just follow everything I do because I kind of just use it as a website. But that's been your video for this week. Stop watching YouTube. Go write.